Hey, Shalom, this is your brother Yuanathon. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruchaha Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Before we get started, I'm going to read this precept really quick. This is Isaiah 19:1. It says, "The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud." It talks about in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, how he's coming back upon that fathership. When the scriptures talk about clouds, the chariots, it's talking about the so-called UFOs. Okay? In Ezekiel, the 1st chapter, it's even described in great detail. The flying saucer, the wheel within the wheel, the highlights, the even the way in which it flies, the maneuvers that it makes, how a plane has to turn, but this one, it just could maneuver however it pleased. Ezekiel, the 1st chapter. You can look a breakdown on that. I think a first video that might even come up is Apostle Gabar. Yeah. But the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Okay? People are going to be distraught when they see how things actually play out, when they see who the Most High really is, when they see what he's about, when they see the judgment that he's decreeing. People are going to be shaken up. An illustration of that, you can go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, all the way down to about the 5th verse, I believe. Continuing on here, it says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians." Now, America is called spiritual Sodom in Egypt. Let's go to get that right. Actually, I'll just pull it up on the phone here. I got 2 clips I want to show you guys today. And it's kind of going to go into this. Is Revelation 11:8. It says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city." All right. Their dead bodies, meaning the people are spiritually dead. Right now, 2/3 of our people, they're spiritually dead. They're disconnected from Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And they have a disdain for the order that he gives us through his word. Even people that know they're Israelites. All right. Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And he was crucified not in the literal sense over here. He was crucified in a way that the way of righteousness, what he stood for, has been cast down within the society. Jesus is the word came up maybe about a year ago and completely butchered that breakdown. He didn't understand what it was talking about. I went and rewatched it yesterday, some of the points he was trying to make. Complete lack of understanding. But now that we read that, I want to show you guys a clip, because in LA, they've given badges to people who have crossed over the border under the guise of saying, hey, when children cross over, these people will be able to have a better relationship and to nurture and to ease them into the society a lot better, coming from the same situation. But they've given these people arms, and eventually we know that that's going to turn against Egyptian against Egyptian, these people against that people. It's going to be civil war here. Those people who have been deputized are going to be, their hand is going to be against everybody. It's just going to be complete chaos. That's what's prophesied in the scriptures, and all the ingredients are in the pot for these things to start taking place. The Lord has moved all the pieces in place for there to be complete madness upon the earth. So with no further ado, here's a clip. It's about 1 minute and 30 seconds. Here you go.
I'm so tired of predicting things. It's almost like I can see the future. Or I'm just not a complete dumbass and see exactly what the plan is as they walk us through it. LAPD's first non-citizen police officers set to graduate from the academy. Not only did I predict that they would be handing them guns and badges to come after you, the American citizens, the taxpayers that pay these people's salaries, they're going to start handing guns and badges to these people. They're going to start recruiting them into the military to come after you. They're going to start handing them the right to vote to change elections in this country. And you're going to pay for it. LAPD moves to accommodate new DACA officers who can't personally own guns. LA's first non-citizen officers are set to graduate from the police academy with unique legal restrictions on their ability to possess firearms. Keep in mind, they're constantly coming after your Second Amendment rights, but now they're handing out border jumpers weapons and badges to come after you. And guess what? You pay for it. They're charging you money via taxes, to pay these illegals to carry guns and come after you to take your guns away. Like I said, they're not done. They'll be giving all of them guns and badges, putting them in the military and in squad cars, and coming after you.
So, sedition is being set up. All the ingredients, again, they're in the pot for this thing to really pop off. This is 2nd Ezra 15, and we'll start at verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another people with swords in their hands." The modern day sword is the gun. "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes." All right, it's going to get to the point to where this government, I don't know why I did that. It's going to get to where the thumbs up. You guys see that? Anyway, threw me off a little bit. Let's read this again, verse 16. "For there should be sedition among men." All right, because the authority that the government has isn't going to hold weight with the people anymore, because people are just going to go into survival mode, especially all these millions of people that have crossed over here. "And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because martial law is going to be established." So in order to control all this chaos, the military is going to be put out. UN troops are going to be put out there. And it's, a lot of restrictions are going to be placed on the people. Verse 17 again, "A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." All right. Now let's go back to Isaiah 19, and we're at verse 2. It says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians." All right, this is talking about this future kingdom that's spiritually referred to as Sodom and Egypt, right? So it's talking about the Americans here. "And they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to idols and to charmers." So people are going to be calling on their false gods. Another one of their false gods is Esau himself. They look to this man as God. They look to, his media, whatever the media tells them. Oh, that must be right. They wouldn't tell us. They wouldn't steer us wrong. And, they're not going to have the answers. "And they shall seek the idols and to the charmers." Okay. You got a lot of the scientists and people they put up in front of you. They're basically charmers. They're wizards. All right. They're lying spirits meant to soothe you and tell you, "Oh, this is the way," when it's really just a pathway to death. All right. "And to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards and the Egyptians will I give over to the hand of a cruel Lord," which is the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And here in Isaiah 19:4, it says a cruel Lord, but it's a lowercase l. Okay. A cruel Lord. "And a fierce king shall rule over them." Right. Coming down with those draconian measures, saith the Lord of hosts. All right. So it's the people have looked to this man for salvation for so long. The Lord's going to say, "Okay, look, go ahead, see if he'll save you." But his goal is the opposite, is to destroy you. So people are going to be given over to what they've invested in. You are what you give your time to. So you give yourself over to the man of death. Death is what you will reap. So a lot of our people, man, they're going to get caught up in all of these skirmishes. Now, the elect, we're going to suffer straight things as well, but the Lord's going to make a way to escape. Let me actually get that. This is 2nd Ezra 7:18. It says, "Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight," and that's STAIT, Strait. All right, straight meaning a path of difficulty. So suffer straight things and hope for the wide, for they have done wickedly, have suffered for Salakia. Let me read this from the top. 2nd Ezra 7 and 18. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for the wide. For they that have done wickedly have suffered straight things and yet shall not see the wide. So the Lord's going to make a way, a pathway to escape, even though we're going to go through some things that are seemingly difficult. We're going to go through some things that it seems that there's no escape, looking with the eyes on your face. But miraculously, the Lord's going to make a way and he's going to be glorified through that, through us being in that low position and always being able to overcome. People are going to be seeing that and they're going to be like, whoa, the Lord must be with these people. That's part of the magnification of the Lord, the same way in old Egypt, right? In ancient Egypt, the Lord's name was magnified because of the great things that he delivered us from. Even all those scourges for a minute were happening back then. The Lord made a way for the Israel to be safe, to be hidden during those trials. You understand? All right, now I got one more clip I want to show you guys. Before we wrap up here. Yeah, majority of our people, they don't get caught up in that stuff. You see that guy with the hat on in that first clip? These rednecks, they ain't going for it. These low level Edomites, they realize that the chief tribe of Amalek, the JOO, that they're not sharing the so-called blessing. All right, this blessing they're trying to manufacture, they're not sharing it. So they're gonna stand up, and it's gonna be Egyptian against Egyptian, and a lot of our people are gonna get caught up in it. Now, one more clip. This guy talked about the second shutdown that's getting ready to come. So when they start speaking like this, it's not something. It's not a hypothesis. This is something that's in the works that they're planning. All right, so let's uh let's run it.
We learned are in danger of being forgotten as attention turns to many other crises confronting our world. But if we fail to learn those lessons, we will pay dearly next time. And there will be a next time. History teaches us that the next pandemic is a matter of when, not if. It may be caused by an influenza virus or a new coronavirus, or it may be caused by a new pathogen we don't even know about yet, or what we call disease X. There has been a lot of attention on disease X, especially recently. But in fact, it's not a new thing. We first used the term disease X in 2018. It was just the same time I spoke here in this government summit in 2018. And we used disease X as a placeholder for a disease we don't even know about yet, but for which we can nonetheless prepare. COVID-19 was a disease X, a new pathogen causing a new disease. But there will be another disease X, or a disease Y, or a disease Z.
Yeah. So clearly, that's not something that if you're reading between the lines, it's not something that they're guesstimating. It's something that's in the works. So the question that should come to the flock's mind should be, well, or a logical person, how do I escape that? How do I prepare for these things and this big change that's coming to the earth? You know, the control that they're trying to take because they really want dominion over the people's souls and they need chaos to get it. So they're going to come with solutions in the midst of the chaos, which is going to lead you further down a path to destruction. He kept bringing up the X, the psi, right? Chi psi stigma, the Xing out. He wants to X out the Most High, the earth. Elder Yasharama did a lesson maybe like an hour or two ago, talking about the eclipse that's happening this year, and they show the pathway of the last eclipse and this one, and it's basically an X. It makes an X over America. And one of the hot spots where you will be able to see the eclipse in full is here in Dallas. So a lot of spiritual omens going on right now, on both sides, left and right. All right, so got one more clip that I'll show you guys, and I'll pretty much end the lesson here. Just wanted to show you guys these clips, bring out a few precepts, and this is uh, a short video of Cotton Swab. All right, that's the code name we give the guy, and he's speaking about the ultimate goal, connecting man with machine, that fourth industrial revolution, and through that they'll be able to have a complete dominion over the minds of the people. And those who bend the knee and take it, they've given dominion of their soul over to this man, over to this nation of people. And that's how they figure they can overcome the Most High. All right, but there's going to be a remnant who will not bow. Okay, so one more clip and then we'll wrap it up, guys. Here we go.
Can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants, and we measure your brain waves, and I can immediately tell you how the people react, or I can feel how the people react to your answers. Is it imaginable? The technology now is, and digital technologies mainly have an analytical power. Now we go into a predictive power, and we have seen the first examples, and your company very much involved into it. But then the next step could be to go into a prescriptive mode, which means you do not even have to have elections anymore, because you can already predict, and afterwards you can say, why do we need elections? Because we know what the result will be. Can you imagine such a world?
Fuck you, Klaus Schwab, and fuck your New World Order.
All right, so you see where they're headed. You see where their mind is. You've been warned time and time again about what's coming. So if it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not. All right, so with that being said, I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth and sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house.